Remember that song that was everywhere? The one you couldn't escape on the radio, at parties, in commercials. But when you tried to find more music from that band, nothing. That's the curse of the one-hit wonder. Today we're diving into 10 rock bands that struck gold with one massive hit and then vanished from the mainstream spotlight. But here's the thing. Most of them didn't actually disappear. Their stories are way more interesting than you think. From shocking career changes to underground success, and even a few surprising comebacks. Let's find out. Where are they now? But before we jump in, if you love rock music history as much as we do, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss our deep dives into the stories behind the music. Now, let's get started. Let's kick things off with those overalls and that fiddle. Dexys' Midnight Runners exploded onto the scene with Come On Eileen, which became the biggest selling single of 1982 in the UK. That Celtic soul fusion was unlike anything else on the radio. But here's what most people don't know. Dexys actually had other hits in the UK, including Gino, which hit #1 before Eileen. In America, though, total one-hit wonder status. Where are they now? Frontman Kevin Rowland has had a wild journey. The band broke up, reformed, broke up again. Rowland dealt with personal struggles but made a comeback in 2003. In 2012, Dexys released One Day I'm Going to Soar, which got critical acclaim but didn't chart. Today, Rowland still performs occasionally, and Come On Eileen remains one of the most licensed songs in history. Every wedding DJ knows it by heart. That pencil sketch music video, that impossibly high note. a-ha's Take On Me is one of the most iconic songs of the 80s, and that video won 6 MTV Video Music Awards. In America, they're definitely one-hit wonders, but in Europe, these Norwegian guys were massive superstars with multiple chart toppers. Where are they now? Here's the shocker. a-ha never really stopped. They've released 10 studio albums. With their most recent in 2015, they've sold over 36 million albums worldwide and still tour extensively, especially in Europe where they can fill arenas. They announced a farewell tour in 2010, but came back in 2015. In 2022, they were still performing sold-out shows across Europe. Not bad for a one-hit wonder, right? I get knocked down, but I get up again. If you were alive in the late 90s, this song is burned into your brain. It was in commercials, sports events, everywhere. But Chumbawamba was actually a British anarcho-punk band that had been around since 1982. Tubthumping was their 8th album. They went from punk squats to pop stardom overnight. Where are they now? After their brief mainstream moment, Chumbawamba went right back to their punk roots. They released several more albums with political themes, donated to activist causes, and stayed true to their anarchist beliefs. The band officially broke up in 2012 after 30 years together. Lead singer Dunstan Bruce now works as a documentary filmmaker and released a film in 2020 called I Get Knocked Down, about the band's story. They made their money, stayed true to themselves, and got out. Respect. That string arrangement, Richard Ashcroft walking down the street, bumping into people. Bittersweet Symphony is one of the defining songs of the 90s. Technically, the Verve had other UK hits, but in America, this was the song. And it came with major drama. They lost all the royalties because of a sample dispute with the Rolling Stones publishers. They made nothing from their biggest hit for over 20 years. Where are they now? The Verve broke up in 1999, reformed in 2007, released one album, then broke up again in 2009. Richard Ashcroft went solo and has released 6 solo albums with moderate success. The happy ending? In 2019, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards finally signed over the rights to Bittersweet Symphony back to Ashcroft. After 22 years, he finally owns his biggest song, Tainted Love, 1981. This synth-pop cover of a northern soul song became one of the best-selling singles of all time. Soft Cell's dark electronic version transformed the song completely, and Mark Almond's vocals made it unforgettable. Where are they now? Soft Cell broke up in 1984, but both members stayed in music. Mark Almond had a successful solo career in the UK with multiple top 10 hits. He survived a near-fatal motorcycle accident in 2004 and came back stronger. In 2018, Soft Cell reunited for a farewell tour that was so successful they kept going. They released a new album called Happiness Not Included in 2022, their first in 20 years. Critics loved it, calling it their best work since the 80s. Sometimes the story has a second chapter. This tongue-in-cheek song about male vanity became a global phenomenon. Those two bald brothers in tank tops became instant icons of early 90s pop culture. Where are they now? Right Said Fred continued making music with mixed success. They still perform and tour, particularly in Europe and on nostalgia circuits. Interestingly, I'm Too Sexy got a second life when Taylor Swift interpolated it in her 2017 song, Look What You Made Me Do. The brothers are credited as writers and presumably made significant royalties from Swift's massive hit. They've also become controversial in recent years for their political views and COVID-19 skepticism, which has dominated their social media presence more than their music. Rocky III. That guitar riff. Eye of the Tiger is one of the most motivational rock songs ever recorded, and it spent 6 weeks at #1. Technically, Survivor had other hits like Burning Heart and The Search Is Over, but Eye of the Tiger overshadows everything else. Where are they now? Survivor has had a complicated history, with lineup changes and legal battles over the band name. Original guitarist Frankie Sullivan still tours with a version of Survivor, performing at corporate events, fairs, and nostalgia tours. Eye of the Tiger has been licensed countless times for sports events, movies, and commercials, ensuring steady royalty income. The song literally won't die, and that's great news for the band members who wrote it. This new wave anthem about nuclear war, yes, really, became the ultimate romantic song through the power of misinterpretation and movie soundtracks. Where are they now? Modern English never broke up. They just became a cult band. They've released 9 studio albums, with their most recent in 2024. Yes, 2024. Not every band needs to be mainstream famous to make a living from music. That cold, robotic synth sound. Gary Numan's Cars helped define the sound of electronic music and influence countless artists, from Trent Reznor to Kanye West. Where are they now? Here's the twist. Gary Numan is huge in the alternative and industrial music scenes. He never stopped making music and has released 18 studio albums. His later work is darker and heavier, and he's influenced everyone from 9 Inch Nails to Marilyn Manson. In 2017, his album Savage, Songs from a Broken World, was a critical and commercial success. He's a one-hit wonder who became a legend in a different genre. The B-girl dancing in that video is one of the most iconic images of the 90s. No Rain perfectly captured the alternative rock sound of the early 90s with its acoustic groove and optimistic vibe. Where are they now? This one's bittersweet. Singer Shannon Hoon died of a drug overdose in 1995 at just 28 years old. The band broke up, unable to continue without him. In 2006, the surviving members reformed with a new singer, Travis Warren, and released one album. It didn't capture the magic, and they've been on hiatus since. Shannon Hoon's legacy lives on through documentaries like All I Can Say, which was released in 2019 and featured footage Hoon shot himself during the band's rise. It's a powerful reminder of the talent lost too soon. The surviving members occasionally perform tribute shows, and No Rain remains a beloved classic rock radio staple. So there you have it, 10 one-hit wonder rock bands and where they are now. Some disappeared, some kept grinding in smaller venues, and others found new success in unexpected ways. The lesson? A one-hit wonder isn't always a failure. Sometimes it's a ticket to a long career. Sometimes it's a retirement fund. And sometimes it's the beginning of a completely different story. What these bands prove is that success in music isn't one size fits all. You don't need to be a superstar to make a living doing what you love. Which of these one-hit wonders surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into rock history, make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to the channel. We've got tons more music history content coming your way. Thanks for watching. And remember, every band has a story worth telling, even if you only know one song. See you in the next one.